Welcome to our GTM Advice episode where each guest answers a fast round of questions and shares their go-to-market advice with you. Let's hear from Jack. What is the biggest go-to-market challenge that exists today and how would you tackle it?
Well, that's a great question. Hey, Stephanie, good seeing you again. My biggest challenge would be that in this go-to-market fast-paced environment where you've got AI, you've got all these different tools, that nothing is going to replace the human touch of what we do. So I'm a big believer that emails are great, but the personal communication that you can still do to anyone, I still write handwritten notes and I will, and it's amazing to me when someone gets a Jack note, the response that I get back. So I think that the biggest thing that I could just say quickly is the personal touch in this go-to-market world is never going to go away. AI is not going to replace it.
Where would you focus your efforts if you had limited resources and had to drive immediate results?
Where would I focus my efforts? If I would focus my efforts on continuing to message the way that I communicate. And the way that I like to communicate is I'm a LinkedIn poster. So I think for me, I can get a lot of messaging out on LinkedIn. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. And I'm a big believer. I like to show up at trade shows and not be the person that has a booth. I like to show up and network with the crowd because, again, that's the personal thing. I'm not a scanner. You're never going to see me scanning anyone's badge. I'm a believer that, the personal interaction, it's things that people don't do anymore. And I'm finding that people that still have this personal connection, they separate themselves out from the normal salesperson that's hiding behind an email or technology.
How do you ensure there is alignment across all go-to-market functions, so sales, marketing, product, and CX?
The only way that there can be alignment is at the top of any organization from the CEO, CRO down, but it's having everyone in these organizations knowing exactly what their job is and how it fits into the bigger puzzle. A marketing person should never go to work and just be focused in on marketing. A product person shouldn't just go to work, say, hey, I'm focused in on product. It all attaches somewhere together, and making sure that the sales leader, the marketing leader, the product leader, the CEO are all very much in tune with what the goal is.
What's the one dirty little secret in go-to-market that nobody talks about but everyone needs to know?
Oh, wow. That's a great one. I believe the dirty secret is that, senior management, the people making decisions, are making decisions not off of actually the reality of what's going on in the field. I think that so many decisions are made in a boardroom, in an Excel file to drive make-believe revenue based on what they want to do in their head. Most of it's never based off of actual facts, and that's a dirty secret that is the absolute truth. I think that these organizations need to ensure that they're setting realistic goals and expectations for sales and marketing, and not these unrealistic numbers where 40% of the organization makes their number and the rest of them are all put on pips. It's completely unrealistic.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about having a career in go-to-market?
The biggest misconception in having a career in go-to-market, can you elaborate a little bit more what you're looking for there?
Yeah, so what's the one thing that you think people think having a career in like sales, marketing, product, CX
Oh,
role will be that it's not?
yeah, I get accused of this all the time, me and my sales team. So we flit around the country, we eat, luxurious meals, we're staying at, top-notch hotels, it's a glamorous life. Let me set the record straight. it's a grind. It's extremely challenging to go on these road junkets these days, to always be on. It's a very lonely existence. And I can say the same thing for marketing, right? The expectation for marketing is, you go to a trade show, we put, a lot of money into this, and that things are just going to happen. It doesn't work that way at all. And marketing is just as much under the gun as a sales professional. It's hard out here. It's hard to consistently do this at a level. And the perception though is that salespeople are just living this glamorous life, and it's completely a misconception.
What is one skill that a go to market professional needs to have mastered to be successful?
It's the capacity to understand and to push yourself in a very unforgiving environment. I don't know anyone that can be one dimensional and do this at this rate that I do for 25 years. So you got to have passions outside of doing this. Mine so happens to be I'm an ultra runner, so I get a little bit of relief in being able to go and do that. But it truly is having a mindset that this is a job, and this is what pays my bills. This is not truly my identity. I'm way more dimensional than this person that you see, and that people that just take this in the literal sense, it's an unscaling life, meaning that if you're just a CRO and you're just in the weeds of this, it'll kill you because you just can't live this type of pressure on a day-to-day basis without having some relief.
What is one thing you wish you knew sooner?
Oh, wow. One thing I wish I knew sooner. I wish I really knew sooner, and I probably wouldn't have gone into senior management, how much of the things that are truly out of control of any organization. As a young sales rep, I just always assumed that the people up there making the decisions knew kind of what they were doing. As I have gotten older and I sit in these boardrooms and I sit in these meetings raising money, what's appeared to me is just the only thing that's happened is you've gotten older and more experience. So out of default, you get into that position. But typically, a lot of these decisions are made in a way that it would just boggle the mind. They're not made off of real empirical data. They're made off of, hey, we just got to grow the business 30% because our competitors are. And that 30% may not fit your model. You may only be able to grow at 10% due to a lot of factors. I wish I would have known that early on and not taken it so personal.
What is the one piece of advice you would give to someone looking to grow their career and go to market?
Be patient, find a good mentor. I have been so blessed in my career to have some really good mentors that that will take the time, slow down, and give me the facts, kind of like what we're talking about today. I think having these types of conversations, it can only help anyone that's either struggling in their career or wanting to advance in their career to really understand, what they're getting into, but to find that mentor, that somebody that has more experience than you, and truly lean into that relationship and hear more than you speak.
You've been listening to GTM Confessions. If you love what you've heard, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And don't forget to tell a friend.